Micheal Pope.
Good morning and welcome to another Life is a Sacred Journey. I'm trying to get my pillow associated here or fixed right, becoming my friend and not my enemy. How are you all doing this morning? I hope you're feeling well and you had a good night's sleep. I did not. I don't know why. Just a lot of stuff on my mind, I think, but it's another day to get it right and to feel like the universe is nothing but a wonderful place. So I want to welcome you to Life is a Sacred Journey. And my name is Micheal Pope, and I am the facilitator of this 30-minute, 45-minute dialogue every Friday morning. I need to move the cursor. There we go. Every Friday morning at 8 a.m. I just realized, oh my gosh, how many holiday seasons that we have spent together. And how many holiday seasons have gone by since we went to this platform, from being on Blog Talk Radio to doing this. And so just thank you all so much for hitting the share button, for telling other people, for your comments. Your comments mean a great deal to Felicia and I. We have an opportunity then to know who to bring back, what kind of topics are important to you, and we want to continue to do that. So please comment and let us know that you're there. Let us know what's going on in your life and share. I guess you're wondering, okay, Micheal, I think you have something on your head. Yes, I do. This is one of my favorite hats. It's I think they call it GGPP or Pippi or G whatever, but it's one of my favorite hats. I have a lot of hats. It's interesting that a lot of people that I hang out with, other than in my social settings, have never seen me in a hat, or at church. And so what I this morning in my meditation, I was thinking a great deal about my mom, and she wore hats, and how elegant she looked, and how put together always, and that she looked. And then there was always, not always, but she did wear hats. And so I love hats. I have all kind of, and the fedora hat is my favorite. And so I have a bunch of them in straw, and I got one when I was in Cuba. So I have a Cuban straw fedora made, I look like one of the tobacco barons there. But this morning I'm just wearing my hat. One, I feel like I'm coming down with something, and I wanted to keep my head warm. And then secondly, I was thinking about my mom and hats and how wonderful they are. And I thought, you don't even wear them. You haven't been wearing them recently. So today I decided to wear a hat in honor of all the moms and everybody who wears hats. My father wore hats too. So, everybody who likes to wear a hat, it kind of does something to you. It makes you stand up a little taller, and I added height to my fedora. So this is also in homage to Erykah Badu, because when she first wore one and hers is higher, I was like, I gotta have that hat. So anyway, I don't know if she got it from the same, let me make sure she's straight. I don't know if she got it from the same vendor, but I want to thank, and I don't know if I'm saying the name right. It's GG Pip or something like that. I love my hat. I can't wait I bought a band to go around it as well. So welcome to Life is a Sacred Journey. I hope you are doing very well this morning. And if you would hit the share button, make comments. This is one of our episodes where we do ponderings. And the ponderings are just things that we ponder about caregiving, about working or loving the folks that have a diagnosis of dementia, Alzheimer's, and just aging in general. I believe today is also recognition of the HIV. I think it's HIV/AIDS Day, and I want to just have a big shout out to all the warriors who made it possible for us to fight this virus in a way where people are living with the diagnosis now, that we got over our homophobia, and that, well, maybe we didn't, but through the fight of the warriors, that we have all kinds of medications and holistic approaches to battling this virus, HIV virus, AIDS. So to all of you who have lost someone, I've lost many. I send my heart out to you. Life is a Sacred Journey says, and I say, I am Life is a Sacred Journey. Just, I know your grief, and I don't know personally, but I know having had to say goodbye to numerous people diagnosed with HIV/AIDS. It's a heart-wrenching experience. So thank you to all of you warriors out there, past and present, and in the future, because the fight is not over. So thank you. The holiday season is coming. Last week we had Audrey White, and she was amazing, as you all have written. And she is a grief coach and is the leader at the Grief Coach Academy. She will be coming back, but she talked a lot about the holiday blues. We talked a lot about the holiday blues. And it is a time when caregiving can be an incredible burden. Care partnering can be a burden because you have so many things on your plate that you want to get done, or it could become such a burden because of the fact that you're just not knowing what the holiday is going to bring. New people coming into the home, or having to travel, and what does that mean to the person that you're caring for, diagnosed with dementia, Alzheimer's dementia, stroke dementia, whatever form of dementia that they have. And so what you begin to understand is that the person living with dementia has become very sensory. And this is something that I noticed this week. I've been spending some time on the program floor, just in observation to see what the staff needs. Is there anything that we need to change? Also to look for places where I can applaud them in the incredible work that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. And so what I realize is that because the person living with dementia is sensory, there is this higher, heightened level of understanding that they have about the environment, what's going on in their environment. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So yesterday in the program, was it yesterday? No, the day before yesterday in the program, we were at almost 30 people in the program. We're licensed for 60, so we're kind of halfway there. And what happened was we had nursing students that were fantastically wonderful. Shout out to Unitech College, really fantastically wonderful. But that added an additional 5 people in the room. Then we had our paid care partners, and there were about 4 of them in the room, so there's 9 people. And then there were 27, almost 30 people, meaning program participants, in the room. So you're getting up to a high number in a space that's kind of intimate on purpose, but when people physically aren't dispersed throughout the environment, they have a tendency to land and congregate in one space. So the octave of human sound kept getting higher and higher and higher. Then one of the team members here came into the room to announce that the van had arrived and certain people were going home. And in doing that, they cued. First of all, people were starting to get a little anxious. I could feel it. The environment was a little claustrophobic. They weren't quite sure what was happening. It was a lot of people in the space. There was music in one room. It was just kind of, it was coming up to a crescendo. Okay, so the person comes in and then starts announcing the names of the individuals that are going on the van. And that very moment, the megahertz in that room shot from where it was already kind of teetering in a bad space up. And not only did the people who were getting on the van get up and start walking towards the door to exit, so did everybody else. I have learned in my time here at Alzheimer's Services, ASEB of the East Bay, or Alzheimer's Services of the East Bay, ASEB, is that when a person is dealing and coping and living with a cognition challenge that is robbing them of memory, and depending on what other parts of the brain are being impacted, sound, lighting, movement. The other thing that was happening, everybody was it was a transition time in the program, and everybody was rushing around. They were moving quickly. There was quick movement of the team and the nurses and even myself. And so sound, light environment, it's already getting dark, and so we're kind of starting to see shadows, and so we're working on getting better lighting down there. And I realized that daylight saving time really kills us in our programming. When we were in Fremont, when we were on the Dominican sister campus before the pandemic, we deliberately put daylight lighting bulbs, and we did a different kind of lighting. We didn't do the fluorescent lighting. And that gets tiring, and it also gives off a vibrational sound. Some of us are not affected by it, but many of us are. And so you take all of those elements and you put them in a space. The individual living with dementia has no way of escaping from it other than physically. And so that's why they got up and they started moving out of the room. So when you are with your loved one, think about the sounds that are happening. How loud is the television? And while they may say, I can't hear it, that's a hearing challenge that needs to be addressed. It over a period of time, particularly whatever they're watching, whatever it is, if it's a movie, I noticed that action movies, the sound is louder. I always am working with my tuning bar to adjust it. I don't watch television, but when I did, I realized that when the commercials came on, they were louder. And that was deliberate to get your attention if you had walked away from the television. So all of those things really impact the person living with dementia, and therefore they impact you as the care partner and as the caregiver. I have found, and research has shown, you can look it up, that woodwind instruments, sounds. I'm now listening to Andre 3000, who was one of the members and is one of the members of Outkast, and he has a new CD, or it's on Spotify on my phone, and it's I think it's Under the Sun or Rise with the Sun. I can't remember the name of the CD, but he learned how to play the flute. Becky Stockdale is another good friend that plays the traditional native flute, indigenous flute. So the flute and the woodwind instruments create an incredible environment for people living and coping with dementia. So we've talked about environment a little bit, and how it impacts the individuals living with dementia, but I think it also impacts everybody. I think that I was talking to someone yesterday and I was using the word vibration, and I've been using that a lot lately because I've been doing a lot of research. Terrence Howard is another actor that I know. He's out there and he's a warrior for raising the vibration. And I've been listening to some of his stuff, but I've also done research around the globe where the vibration of sound, how it makes you feel, the vibration of voice, why there are people who meditate and create these sounds inside of us. And then the sound of words. I realized that words have an incredible impact. It's not just the meaning, but it's the sound of them and how they are spoken, and language. All of these things create an environment for not only each of us as human beings and how we navigate the world. Sorry about that, friends. That's the other thing. I'm gonna go to that in a minute. But sound can be interruptive. sometimes everything in the universe. That's why you can't get upset about anything. I'm learning how to do that. I haven't mastered it yet, but you have to use everything that comes at you. How did I know that the doorbell was going to ring during the time when I was talking about vibration and sound? So it changes the trajectory. It draws your attention. And if it's a sound like that, it can make you nervous because you're like, oh my gosh, I realized maybe I didn't put the sign on the door to say the door is open. Things like that. So sound for people with dementia is something that can dictate their behaviors, dictate their emotions and their feelings. Another example of this is there is a participant who has joined our wonderful family downstairs, and he recently lost his spouse, his wife. Well, he loves jazz, and a particular song came on, and it made him think of his beloved, and he became very emotional. And I don't mean emotional in a negative way. He was expressing his love through his emotions for the person that he had lived, 30, 40 years with plus. And that's another way. Music. You all know when you listen to a certain music or a certain sound that of music, or I know being a young woman in the 70s and the disco movement. There was a disco movement, okay? I have to tell you, I love me some Donna Summer. I mean, the songs went on forever. They were marathon songs. And I remember being in the club and dancing and dancing and dancing. Now I would pass out and have an asthma attack if I was asked to dance that long. But those are the kinds of things that create. So when I watched the Donna Summer documentary and saw her dancing and Studio 54 and all of those things, it brought back memories, but it was the sound. Yes, I was seeing visual images and hearing, but it was the sound of the time. You'll have young people down, well, I'm a part of the rap movement. Kind of was getting into my upper adulthood and changing, but rap was very much a part of my life, and the sound of it, the grittiness of it, the truth telling of what the conditions were in the inner cities for those of us who people of color and others who came under the category of low income or moderate income or just the other. So when you begin to that sound, it's a sound that resonates with you and reminds you of periods in your life. And so the other thing about sound is how we speak. My last point on this. We use words and sounds and the words to inflict pain. And we sometimes don't even mean it, right? We sometimes don't even realize it's happening. We don't mean it. We don't know where it came from, but it happens. I've been thinking a lot about the word trust. It's a very powerful word, Trust. Trust, here we go, is a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. Relations have to be built on trust. So that's the noun definition. And then there's the verb. Believe in the reliability, again, it just takes it, truth, ability, or strength of the other. And then I love the archaic, is allow credit to. All persons are forbid to trust sailors. So you're telling, and this was from back in the day, that oh, don't trust those sailors, they're not people. So the word trust in the legal term is an arrangement whereby a person, a trustee, holds property as its normal owner for the good of one or more beneficiaries. So trust is a derivative of this word of, and this concept way back in the day, where a person was unsavory or was thought to be unsavory by a group of people. So trust is something that I think that has gotten misused, because to say you don't trust somebody means that you have to know them, really, really, really know them, and understand their story. And when I look at this definition of trust, it's a firm belief, meaning I am the holder of that belief about another person. And am I always right? And the answer is no. And a firm belief in the reliability, the truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. And it says relationships have to be built on trust. But if you don't start from trust, you're going to build the relationship on other things, and therefore not have the ability to transform your belief about the reliability, the truth, and the strength of that other person. Wow. And that's where I'm going to take you there. I started thinking about why I have a fear of flying. It's a lack of trust. It's a lack of my trust of the reliability of possibly the pilot and everybody that has to do with that airport and that plane that's getting ready to lift off the ground. Did they put the right gasoline in, or whatever the petrol stuff that they're using, fat, whatever? Can I trust that? Can I trust, if I check my luggage, that my luggage is going to meet me where I am, and that somebody's not going to toss it all over the place and break stuff and go through it and steal things and all of that? That's why I don't check my luggage. Even when I went to Europe, I didn't check my luggage. Okay. Reliability, that they're going to tell me the truth about when I book my flight, that it's on time, that the connections are going to make it, and you're not going to be running, similarly to what happened to me. And I'm not going to say the airline because I don't want to get into trouble, but recently when I went to North Carolina, and they booked the stuff so close together, but then they kept pulling planes out of the air. Kind of not cool. And that goes back to the reliability of the mechanic and the trust of that. So our phobias and our stigmas and all of our stuff really comes from us, dear friends, and our personal beliefs on how reliable, how strong, and how truthful someone or something is. And that is the foundation of trust. And so, in order to let someone shine in your eyes and heart and mind, you have to first start from a platform that they can be trusted, and give them the opportunity to break that trust. See, that's the humanity that we're trying to protect. None of us wants to be hurt by anybody else. But some hurt is a part of the game, dear friends. It happens. People hurt you without even knowing that they hurt you, and you know this. But if we stop trusting each other, I'm not sure. Is that how we got to 2023? Because we stopped trusting? We can't trust certain things. We don't believe in certain things. We don't find certain things reliable and strong and in the cut, as the young people say, for us, in the gap. I don't know. As we come to the end of the year, I'll be pondering a lot of things going into 2024. I am in an incredible season of my life, and many of you are as well. We're aging in a time of a dramatic change across the globe. And we've lived through, if we're baby boomers, some amazing periods of life, particularly those baby boomers that are a little bit older than myself. I'm at the tail end of the baby boomer generations. It's an amazing time, but it's also a time where our caregivers and those that are in the community need our support more than ever. We have people still being diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, from stroke, from head injury, all of that. We need to make it easy for them to access services. And right now it is not so easy. It's paperwork, it's moving people from, if you're Medi-Cal, from Medi-Cal to managed care, to getting in a system that you don't even understand. And if you have Kaiser, it's a whole nother gig. And if you have senior alternative, then it's another thing. And then if you're going to work over your retirement age, or the age that the world has deemed as retirement age, then what do you do with your Social Security money that comes in? How do you put enough taxes away so that you're not being taxed for money that you already kind of sort of got taxed for when you got your paycheck? All this is mind-boggling to me, that we have not established a system for people to live their lives from the birth to the time that they are in the ground or cremated in the tomb, whatever it is. They used to say from the womb to the tomb. That individual now has a life expectancy of 78 years old. For those of us that want to live longer, 90, I'm shooting for 110. What are you going to do? You're just going to dump me in the garbage? And the good news is I belong to a family that loves me, so the garbage is not my trajectory. But what if I were a single person that had no one around me that loved me, that could care for me? And how are we supporting those people who have said, I'll take care of you, I'll help you? How are we supporting them with tax write-offs and things of that nature so that they can do this thing called care partnering, caregiving, in a way that doesn't deplete them of their financial ability and kill them with stress and lack of connection and resources? That's what the world of aging needs today. And that's what the California Association of Adult Services, yesterday I was on a call, as I begin to wrap up. I was on a call with colleagues that I have known now for almost 27 years. That was totally mind-boggling to me when I saw the names on the, where they say the participant names: Debbie Toth, Lydia Missilides, just all these people, Renee from TurboTax, all of us who have been advocates and warriors for the Medi-Cal population and for others, because what we do for one, we all benefit. We all benefit. It doesn't just mean, I think we get so upset because we think we're doing something for one person or one ethnic group or one culture or one age group, and then we go, oh, but yeah. But in fact, if you do something to support any one category of the humanity, everybody benefits from it. So it's like age-friendly cities. The age-friendly cities are just as good for people who are elderly, or not elderly, older, than they are for folks that are little people. A park is a park. Everybody loves going to the park. So we got to stop. So California Association of Adult Day Services is starting a campaign, an advocacy campaign. We'll put some more information on our website, as well as on the Facebook for Alzheimer's Services of the East Bay. We are now in a time in the history of the state of California where we want to move the needle for the final push. This is our final push for some of us. I know my time at ASEB is coming slowly to an end, and I'm planning for that now by hiring new staff and young people. But at the end of the day, the reimbursement rate for adult day services, this program, Adult Day Health Services, where you get all the stuff that nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapists. We have to have a dietitian, a pharmacist, a medical director, a MD. We have to have a program director, a life enrichment coordinator, 8-to-1 paid staff ratio. We have to cook meals for the folks, and I'm not saying any of this in a begrudging way, because I wouldn't have dedicated 26 years of my life to it if I didn't believe in it. Transportation to and from, all requirements of the model. They will ding you when they come in to do their audits if all those things aren't in place. And in order to have the license on the wall, our license for 2024 is going to cost our agency $10,800. The reimbursement to support these individuals is $76.27 a day. That has been the rate for over, I think, 2 decades. I think it went up like a quarter or 5 cents. I don't even know. It was so small, it didn't even matter. And every year, we get burdened with more policy, more things that we're supposed to do that require a high level of education, master's degrees, and we have to pay people to do the work. And then we get dinged when we don't do it exactly the way that the person who is interpreting the Title 22 policy, because it's all left up to interpretation. And then after that, you get monitored, where you have to report in on all the things that you got dinged on. So I don't know, where that looks like anything, where a community is working together to support the people who need the service. And adult day healthcare has saved the state billions of dollars, I know, in the last 26 years of my life. And adult day healthcare was around before I came to this model. So we've saved the state billions. The California Association of Adult Day Services, CADS, CAADS, is in a campaign now where we're going to ask the general public for help. So I'm coming to you right now, asking you to go to their website. They have templates, letters that you can send to your local legislative folks, because we know it's the legislative folks that we need to get to, and send it to them. And if you don't know about adult day healthcare, find one in your community, come to ASEB so you can see what we do here, or go to our website. I think there's a couple of videos, but we need a roaring movement of people like myself that are at 66 years old, that if it were not for my children and the fact that I'm still working, not just one job, but multiple jobs, that I too would have to use the Medi-Cal system or the state systems in order to survive. And I'm telling you, there's many good parts, but it is one of the most convoluted, it's almost like looking at law books in order to, when it's all about the care. It's all about the heart. It's all about keeping people safe. It's all about connecting people to life. And no pat on the back is ever given for that. But boy, if you forget to initial something on a flow sheet that describes the care that you gave, you get beat up for that royally. And then you pay for it, $10,800. You pay to get beat up. I don't know. So something has to give. So go to the CADS website. They are asking for donations, $5, $10, $2. Whatever you can give that will support this campaign, because it does take money to have advocates up there in the state capitol. I go up when they ask me to come up to speak. I'm more than happy to go, but I can't be there every day because I'm on the ground running a program. And so we need to, please, if you are a part of the baby boomer generations, they need to hear from you and what you need, and that adult day healthcare should be a part of the menu of service in the state of California and supported by your tax dollars in a way that keeps it equitable and alive. We've lost over 100 centers in the last 26 years of my life. Even ASAP has had to close centers because of the cost of doing business. That's one. So go to CADS, make sure you do that. If you are a millennial or an XYZer and you are looking at your parents today and they are vital and they are doing their thing and living their best existence, you should be counting your blessings. But we also need to hear from you. If you are a caregiver or a care partner, paid or unpaid, go to the CADS website, get that template, and then take the words and make them your own, and write the letters to the people that are in your community that said to you, vote for me because I hear you and I see you. Hold them to their promise. So we've come to the end of my pondering today, and I want to thank you all. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving day or gratitude day or friend giving. I hope it was wonderful. I hope you were surrounded by love. I know I was, and it was quiet and peaceful, and I just kind of sat and sucked it all in, and I didn't talk too much, and I was silent. Thanksgiving was a good silent time for me. So go out into the world, be the best person that you can be. And if you are someone that is out there right now, experiencing grief, sadness, to the point that you have contemplated even for a second, taking your life, meaning giving up, thinking the world and everyone around you would be better off without you. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. You are a beautifully, wonderfully made person that's struggling right now because the world is a hard place to get through. Pick up a phone, find someone, and text or call 988. And that is the suicide hotline number, and they will be there for you and help you find resources and talk with you and hear you and listen to you and give you another second to think about a decision that is a final decision. So don't forget that number, 988, the suicide hotline. The other number I want to share, I got to reach over and get it, is the California Youth Crisis Line. They have 24/7 crisis counseling. It's anonymous, it's safe, it's confidential, and it connects you to services. And this is for youth and families. The number, 1-800-843-5200. If you are a young person out there, a youth, and you're out there and you had to run away from home for whatever reasons, that number is a great number to call. If you are an emancipated foster youth, that is a great number to call. If you are a family that is just, things are going upside down and you have a youth among you and they're experiencing some mental health, anxiety and all of that, that's a great number to call. What is that number again? 1-800-843-5200. These are lifeline numbers. If you are a faith-based community out there, please put these numbers in your bulletin and on your websites. Let's stop being so pompous and thinking that we are the only place that can support and help people. Yes, I believe, I'm a faith person and I believe in my faith-based community, but I'm telling you that it's not enough. It's not enough. We need 988 suicide hotline number. We need 1-800-843-5200 to support the people that we serve, but we also need to give them access to this data so that we are living in community. Healing, healing, healing. All right, friends. Go put on a hat today. If you got a hat in your wardrobe, put it on. I don't care how fancy and beautiful, whether if it has flowers, if it's a summer hat, a winter hat, a fall hat, a cap, put it on. And as you put it on, just take joy in how wonderful you are. And that life is pretty wonderful. It can be. It has its moments. It sucker punches us every once in a blue moon, but together we can get through these times. If you're a caregiver or a care partner, thank you for joining Life is a Sacred Journey, and we are here for you. Go back to our website and you will find great voices across the world who are experts in caregiving and care partnering, and they can share some tips with you about how to get through this holiday season as well as the stress of the season. We'll do more of that ourselves in the weeks to come. Have a great weekend. Go out and hug a tree, pet a cat, pet a dog. I've been having an hankering for another dog, but every day I go home and I see Daisy, she's enough. All right, friends, have a wonderful day. Peace. Namaste.